All right. Oh. Are we live? I think we're live. All right. Hello, my epically awesome people. I am make a few adjustments here. There we go. All right. So we've got. Am I using? Oh, I'm. Which camera am I at? Oh, I'm at that camera. Ha! I thought I was at that camera. So I'll just talk over here, shall I? I so love this new Facebook producer. It's so incredibly awesome. Doesn't remember my settings from one live to the next. Totally great. All right. So be that as it may, it is Monday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. So exciting. We love Star Wars Day around here, of course, because we're total nerds. And today is the day we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, actually. And it is all about not beating the stuffing out of yourself around your weight. Because let me tell you, I have not been beating the stuffing out of myself around my weight for like 2 years now, and it feels so much better. Right? So much better. And I know that seems super obvious, but I want to talk to you today about the real, I don't want to see, it's very simple. It's not easy, okay? We use, okay, all of our senses to prove things to ourselves, okay? And when we are using all those senses to prove things to ourselves, oftentimes what we find is proof that we are no good, okay? As I have mentioned before, there are probably a lot of people out there who use what they see on a scale about their weight to prove to themselves that they are no good. This is incredibly common. There's a whole diet industry because that phenomena exists. So what we do is we look at a number on a scale and we make that number mean that we are no good. Okay, I know this because I spent a lot of my life doing that, right? Until I stopped. And what I'm offering you is a way to not even care about the number on the scale. Because here's what happens, okay? You, my friend, have two parts of your brain, okay? And you have heard me talk about this. And there are lots of different ways people talk about this, okay? You have your higher order thinking and your lower order thinking. You have your forebrain and your hindbrain. You have your lizard brain or your monkey mind. Okay, mine's dogs, right? And you have your prefrontal cortex. If you are of a Buddhist persuasion, you have, if you are of a Buddhist persuasion, you have your enlightened self, if self even exists, and then you have Mara, and we are all continually sitting under the Bodhi tree. If I'm in the middle, I just picked up Oprah Winfrey's favorite book. It's called The Seed of the Soul. And he explains this as you have your personality and then you have your soul. Okay. And however it is that you define it, there are really like two ways that your brain goes about figuring out the universe. Okay. Creating results in the universe. You've got the way that you've always done it, okay? You've got all of those neuronal connections that you've always had that tell you things like you're no good or somebody should be doing this or all of these like super unhelpful thoughts like we talk about. And then you have the place in you that is 100% worthy and 100% lovable, okay? All the time, no matter what, no matter who you are. Any name in history you could tell me, that person has a part of them that is 100% whole and 100% worthy and 100% lovable. And the question is that other part of your brain, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to allow that part of your brain to be in service to the very, very best parts of you? Or are you going to allow that part of your brain to dominate the very best parts of you with always negative conversation, or as Spiro Agnew said, the nattering nabobs of negativity. Like that's what your monkey mind is. It's the nattering nabobs of negativity. Okay. Do you want your brain to be that, or do you for that to be the conversation in your brain, or do you not want it to be? Okay. And it really actually does come down to that level of decision making. You can decide and stop deciding that you understand that monkey mind. You understand that part of your brain that tells you you're no good. And that part of your brain is there, right? That part of your brain is totally there. And you don't have to engage it with it. You can let it be there. Like we said yesterday, bring that part of your brain in, offer it a cup of tea. See, here's my cup of tea. It's cinnamon apple today. It smells delicious. You offer it a cup of tea. You say, go sit on the couch. We're good. Don't really need your input right now. If I do, don't worry. I know you work really hard to help me be in the world the way that we always have been. Okay. That is one of the very most freeing steps. Okay, because what you can do is it allows you to separate. Okay, and this concept that you have your monkey mind or your lizard brain or your personality and your soul, or how are your forebrain and your hindbrain, whatever you want to do. What if you just learn to recognize it? Because here is what happens with what we're talking about this week. So we declared all our results last week, and we went through the process of understanding if these are actually results that are going to help us. Okay. And one of the results I talked about a couple of weeks ago on a Monday was that I had another 7 pounds to lose. Well, guess what? I have another 6 pounds to lose. And so I lost another pound, right? And I'm totally expecting these last 7 pounds to probably take a fair amount of time, and it's totally okay. It doesn't need to be time bound. And we, and I was on the scale this morning, and I was like, yep, there we go, 6 more pounds. Guess I get to say that on Facebook. And I tottered off to the rest of my day. But then I made a pretty big decision stemming from my decision on Friday that I'm not going into debt anymore. And I'm not applying to a coaching program. I'm going to save the money and I'm going to apply to this coaching program when hopefully she reopens it in the fall, but I'm not going into debt for it. Because I'm already in a coaching program that I really want to take full advantage of before I level up, right? So it would be kind of like trying to go to high school before you had finished middle school. So we're not going to do that and not go into debt doing it, right? And so I was thinking about some of the stuff that I was writing in my journal and my thought work and stuff like that about who I am and what am I doing in the world. And last night when I was reading The Seed of the Soul, I was doing his exercises. It was really, really good. And I was like, this feels really good. I had I don't even remember what the thought was. And I was like, oh, that's my personality. That's my personality just doing what my personality does. Take a seat, my friend. It's time to go to sleep. We'll deal with you in the morning. Okay. And then this morning, my brain, I woke up, I think at 10 of 5, right? And I've got emails and stuff to get out, and I've got, all that sort of stuff, and my brain was kind of foggy. And I was doing my May work, which is, I'm doing a water, stride, and light protocol every day about my thoughts, and I'm doing them around my sales process. And I realized all my brain wanted to do was beat me up this morning. My brain was just not having it. Okay. And I think a lot of us find ourselves in this situation because we're homeschooling the kids or schooling at home the kids, or however you want to talk about it. We are all with each other 24/7. I can't hug my mom. I can't, go see my brother. We have birthdays in confinement and things like that, right? And my personality, to use seed of the soul language, is all fired up for that to be super, super wrong, and for that to be something terrible is going wrong in the universe. Okay. And I recognized that. Okay. And when you step on the scale in the morning, okay, and your brain is all fired up to make whatever that number is mean something terrible about you, you cannot believe your way into a new thought. And what happens with the belief bludgeon is you step on the scale and the scale says 255 pounds, right? And you're like, damn, I promised myself I'd be 235 by now. And you're not there. And you're like, okay, I'm going to double down on my belief because, I talk about beliefs and things like that. But it never works that way, okay? Because you've got to acknowledge what your primitive brain is telling you, what your personality is telling you, whatever you want to call it, and acknowledge their contribution to the conversation, because they've been having that contribution for a very long time, right? And you're going to want to, like, you can let them have that contribution, but then if you try and resist their contribution and say, okay, I'm gonna double down in my belief, and it feels like belief, and it feels really good, and I'm gonna, no flour, no sugar, I'm gonna totally stick to my protocol, I'm not gonna eat after 2, I'm not, whatever it is, okay? You're gonna spend your whole day subconsciously beating those thoughts back, okay? And that's the belief bludgeon. Because then what you're going to tell yourself is, I should be in my new belief, but you are actually in your old belief. And it feels really contradictory to say, all right, I'm just going to be in my old belief. But the thing is that the relief that gives you by acknowledging that it is there gives you the freedom to be in relationship with yourself where you actually are, okay? And so subverting the belief bludgeon, where you use your own beliefs to beat the tar out of yourself, actually recapitulates the first week of work and why that first week is so very important. Because you have to not only tell yourself the truth about the number on the scale or what you ate today and whether it was on protocol or off protocol, you have to tell yourself the truth about what you are really thinking. And that is ever so much more difficult than stepping on a scale and telling yourself the truth about that, okay? And I totally want you to start there, because without that capability, you can't develop the capability to tell yourself the truth about your thoughts, because you can't even see your thoughts, my friends. But if you tell yourself the truth about your weight and your food, you will develop the capability to tell yourself the truth of your own thoughts. And so the work this week is the next level of the work in the first week, okay? Because this is how we tie it all, then we'll really tie it together tomorrow, but, or next week. But when we look at it that way, and we look at, here's the number, and here's my thoughts about the number, we tell ourselves the truth about both things, okay? Your brain is bright enough. Your forebrain, your soul, the part of you that understands that what you really want to do is be safe and be loved, will give you the opportunity to stop beating yourself up. But in order for that to happen, you have to stop the resistance to the thoughts that you don't want to have. Okay. And this is where the abundance code and all of those kinds of mindset sorts of things fall apart. Is you can't just step into a new belief. You have to tell yourself the truth of the beliefs that you have right now, and recognize whether or not they serve you. Okay. And recognize in those beliefs that you have and those thoughts that you have, the negative thoughts about you are not the real you. Okay. And when you try and step into a new belief and say, I am going to come from my forebrain, you haven't stopped resisting your hindbrain and all of those negative thoughts. Okay. You're going to use that as a reason to beat yourself up. All of that mind drama is completely optional. It is completely and totally optional. And the freedom that you can have by understanding those two relationships in yourself, the relationship of not even two relationships, it's the relationship between your hindbrain and your forebrain, or however you want to call it. And that your highest and your best self is one of love and worthiness, one that knows how to celebrate and seek pleasure and feel joy. And that these nattering nabobs of negativity may always be there and are just going to come along for the ride. They don't really have to mean anything. That they're just going to keep happening and you can handle it because your forebrain can handle anything. I was on a phone call about processing, right? Talking about, dissolved solids and wastewater and zoning and all of that sort of stuff, and financing and all that sort of stuff. These are all solvable problems. You just have to decide whether or not you want to solve them. And you have to decide whether or not you're ready to drop the drama. Because the other side of the belief bludgeon is we really kind of like it. We like beating the tar out of ourselves, right? Because we're used to it and it feels safe and comfortable. And some of us may have had parents that did it, and that's what we understand as love, okay? That if I love you, I'm very strict and harsh. There are generations of people who were brought up that way, and that's how they know how to parent and relate to other people, and that's how we know how to relate to ourselves. So we're very super strict with ourselves, right? And that gives us the results that we want. And it probably did for a long time until it really doesn't anymore. And you can't, you're exhausted by the beating of yourself up, right? And so when you are looking at creating a new reality, you can allow it to not come from drama when you recognize that your personality, your hindbrain, loves drama, loves a story with a cliffhanger. That's why ER was so good, right? That's why, so many, we just finished watching Picard in January, or in February or March, and or April, I don't even know. We finished it a couple weeks ago. It's all cliffhangers. Our brains love a cliffhanger. Okay. And when you're in mind drama about should I believe this or should I believe that, you're feeding that muscle of drama when you could just say, look, I'm creating drama and I really don't need to be. I really could be living in the seed of my soul, right? And being possibility out there in the world, and being in love and abundance and peace and those sorts of things. And believe it or not, all of that is available in every single, in all the days. deciding to drop the drama and deciding that your brain makes drama because it doesn't know what else to do with its time can be very freeing. Because I did that this morning. I was on my exercise bike and I was like, oh, wait, this is what's happening. I felt so good last night and now I feel like I have a hangover, even though I didn't drink. And it's because it's like a vulnerability to myself hangover. And my hindbrain wants to come back and reassert its authority over my forebrain because my forebrain's in charge. We're going to go out and we're going to make possibility in the universe. We're going to tell people, I got the financing for the locker all squared away. You got it squared away. You just make a decision and you be willing to spend that money. That's all that I got you from there. You got to make that one brave decision, right? But in order for them to be brave, I have to be brave. In order for somebody to sign, I have to be enrolled in my own transformation, right? And it's all available in every thought. That's how you escape the belief bludgeon. Take a look at your thought and you tell yourself the truth of your thought and decide whether or not it's serving you. And if you find out after the fact because you're sitting there and you're writing and you feel like dirt, go looking for the thought that's making you feel like dirt and say, oh, right, I was supposed to learn this. And then don't beat yourself up over learning something about how your brain works, okay? And that will actually allow you to take all of that drama, all of those unserving things, sit them down on the couch with a lovely cup of tea, put them in your backpack, and go about your day in loving service to yourself, to your clients, to the world around us that needs so many helpers right now. It feels so good to be that helper. And imagine how much help you can be to the people who you are meant to serve when you are out there serving them without the drama, okay? And it can all start with your conversation about your weight. Alrighty, my friends, that's what we got. You are beautiful people. I am so excited to be doing this with you. So much delight. And I will see you at noon tomorrow. So we're noon Tuesday through Sunday, 12:30 on Mondays. Okay, and tomorrow we're going to talk about the same sort of thing about drinking, because for some reason drinking's like even hard, like the highs are higher and the lows are lower with drinking than with weight for most people. And so we're gonna have the same conversation about drinking and work instead, all the things that you do instead of doing the things you said you would do. All right, I love you all, you're amazing. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys.